Good afternoon, students. Till yesterday, we have discussed about the different tips that we have to really keep in our mind if we want to write effective letters, particularly the formal business letters. So in today's class, we are going to discuss the basic difference that one finds between letters and email. All right. So let us understand what is the basic difference between letters and emails, how a letter is different from email, and why one should use emails when compared to writing letters, and what are the benefits that you're going to avail if you're writing email. So the first difference which you can see on the presentation is the basic difference between a letter and email is because of the intervention of technology. The letters which used to take at least 5 days to share the information, to confirm that the information is reached and shared, and then to reciprocate accordingly, it used to take minimum a weekday time, minimum 5 to 7 days time. But now, because of the technology or because of the intervention of the technology, the things have become too fast. Say, for example, even if you want to communicate someone in the other corner of the world and you here in Bihar, sending an email, it can be received or it could be sent across to any person across the world, across the globe, in just minutes or in just few seconds. So based on the internet, based on the connectivity of your internet, based on the kind of gadget as well as the place where you are located, if you keep these things in your mind, and if there is the use of technology done in a proper way, of course you can send the information very quickly, and accordingly you will also get the information that is immediately, simultaneously. Once when you are sending the information, you will also get the responses from the other end, so you can even gain response very quickly. The second thing that you should always remember is whenever we send a letter or written on a piece of paper, we will not know whether the information that we have sent across to the concerned person, did he go through the information shared or not. Because yes, of course, you have sent the letter on the right address, even the recipient has received it, but had he checked or had he read, what about the acknowledgement? Did he receive the information that we wanted to convey? That is absolutely possible, and no one can deny that the information was shared on so and so date. Why? Because whenever you are sharing any email, if you share in an email, what is going to happen? It is in default, the setting is done wherein the sender, the person who is sending the email, he will have the record in his sent item. Now, when we say record or the information in the sent item, we mean the person to whom we have emailed, the date on which it was emailed, the timing at which it was emailed, and what information you are sharing. All these records will be there with the sender. Similarly, the receiver will also have all the information. Say, for example, as a sender, if you have deleted, but still the receiver will have the documents as a proof. Vice versa, if the receiver had sent the information, the sender will have all these details with him, and then he can once again approach him. So keep this in your mind that whenever we are talking about email writing letters or writing an email, emails are very helpful because it acknowledges. Say, for example, if Niru is sending an email to a student, if he says, no ma'am, I did not receive the email, still I'll have all the records with me because your email ID is already marked, and I will have those records in my sent item. So you cannot deny, you can never say that ma'am, I did not receive your email. All right, so keep this in your mind, that acknowledging the letter which will say that yes, as an evidence, as a proof, I have received it, that is 100% possible through email. The next is whenever we talk about process of communication, as I have already stated in the very beginning of this particular class, I said that because of the use of technology, the speed with which we are sending and sharing the information has rapidly increased. So whenever we are talking about sending an email, sharing any information, we are sharing it to the concerned people at a rocket speed. Not only at rocket speed, we also save lots of our time, we also save lots of our cost, and at the same time we also have a proof of evidence that yes, this is something that was shared by me, this is something that was informed to you on so and so date. So all the proof, all the evidences are with us. So can I get quickly in the chat box the information that we are learning? Everybody, can you please mention three benefits, three common benefits of using email? Let me see who is going to respond first. So, as I have already stated, because of the technology, we can have acknowledgement. As I stated, it helps us in saving time as well as it saves our cost. Right. So, can I get this information written by you all in the chat box? So how do you think emails are helpful? It is easy and fast. Yes, it saves our time. And then one more thing, it acknowledges. Very good. Acknowledgement is possible because of the email. You have a proof, isn't it dear? You all have a proof. You can easily check what is shared, with whom it is shared, when it was shared. So it is fast. When we say it is fast, it is time saving, cost saving, and we get an acknowledgement. All right, time saving, cost saving, along with acknowledgement. All right with everyone. So when if somebody is asking you why should you write an email instead of letters, you should be able to tell them that because of this particular version of letters, because of this electronic mail, we save not only our time, not only our cost, but also it will be a proof. It acknowledges us that when we have shared the information, with whom did we share the information, and what was the information that we had shared with them. So moving ahead, whenever you are writing an email, the first thing that you have to keep in your mind is the purpose. Why? Because in the letter, you have to write subject, SUB, and then write the information. Whereas in the email, whenever you are writing any email, you must have seen already there is by default something which is mentioned as subject, right? And in the subject line, we do mention what is the reason behind, what is the purpose, why we are writing this email. So if you have that defined identification of the information that this is what I want to convey, this is the purpose behind which I am writing this email, or this is the purpose upon which I want others to think, I want opinion from others, I want people to respond to my mail. So the purpose, if that is identified, you can very easily pitch your version of information. You can connect with your audience. You can generate that interest and grab the attention. Do you remember the technique AIDA that we have discussed? Can I get the full form of the term AIDA that we have practiced yesterday? Can I get in the chat box? Quickly in the chat box, I want everybody to write the full form. The acronym AIDA stands for very good, Dheeraj, attention, interest, desire, and action. Because of this email, what happens? The first line that is visible is subject line. It is grabbing the attention of the reader. Then followed by, it also generates the interest. Once when the attention is grabbed and the interest is generated, you will see accordingly the desire to act, the desire to read the complete mail goes on. And finally, the action happens. So you should keep these four contents in your mind, that whenever we talk about AIDA, AIDA is all related to attention, interest, desire, and action. So once when we are talking about the next point that is highlighted over here, please remember the tone that you are using. Always remember we are talking about communicative English, and that to business English. So the language that we should use should be formal one. I don't know how many of you read the messages that are written by your faculty members, other teachers, or even from the admission team. Whenever you receive any of those messages, they are absolutely informal, all right? And please remember, if you really want to improve your formal style of writing, download the app of Grammarly. Grammarly. I want everyone to please use this Grammarly, not the paid version, but the free version, because that is again going to help you to improve your writing skills. So once when you understand what is the way you should inform the people, say for example, you are not going to write, hi ma'am, I am so and so person, you know me very well, and I'll not come today. You cannot write an email to your teacher like this, isn't it? You need to write, dear ma'am, dear sir, or respected sir, yes, respected ma'am, and then you should talk about the purpose. We know that you are our student, so therefore you are writing an email to us with your official email address. So once when you are writing the information, yes, you can use the word honorable, but keep this in your mind that whenever you are writing sir or ma'am, these two should be in capital letters, dear. Please keep this in your mind, sir and ma'am. Whenever we denote this word, sir and ma'am, it should always start with capital letter. M-A apostrophe A-M, ma'am. The way of writing ma'am is M. Yes, Ismail, that's the correct way, dear. So whenever you are writing ma'am, this is the right way. So please remember, whenever you are writing, dear sir, dear ma'am, and the language that you should use should be formal. No slangs. I gonna say to you. I got to know. So I gotcha. I gotta. You cannot use the slang words, or you cannot use even the SMS abbreviations when you are writing the email. Keep this in your mind. No slangs, no abbreviations while writing the formal email. Similarly, whenever you are writing the email from the very beginning, say for example, you started very well, you started in a formal way, but at the end, you are not using the complementary clause. Do you remember when we were talking about the different formal letters, we have discussed about the complementary clause? We always write, thanking you, with regards, yours sincerely, your faithfully, isn't it? So whenever you are ending from the very beginning of the email till the end of the email, it should be formally written. We cannot forget the word formal whenever we are writing business letters, particularly the business emails. These are common things that you have to once again keep in your mind. We cannot commit spelling errors and grammar. Check that is very important. Check your grammar, check the sentence structure, and that is the reason again and again I'm telling you, install this particular app called as Grammarly. This is going to help you a lot. All right, so whenever you are using the word this particular thing, Grammarly, it is going to help you. It will correct your language, it will help you to check the spellings, and then it is again going to help in identifying the basic sentence structure. All right, it's not just the keyboard app, dear. It is not just the keyboard app. Keyboard app is totally different. It also checks your spellings. It also checks the correct word that you are using or not. Say for example, if you are using a wrong word, it will underline it and it will let you know that you are using wrong words. Instead of something else, you are using a wrong word. All right, so keep this in your mind. Applying this particular technique will help you to will help you to improve your business writing skills, and that is very important for the future generation, the one who are going to enter into the world of the corporate. You may have to interact with millions of people and you don't know where they are residing. So some of them may be in your own state, but some may be in some other corner of the world. So if you commit mistake, they will judge you. They will judge your personality with the help of what you are writing and with the help of things that you are conveying. So avoid committing spelling errors. Try not to use wrong sentences or slangs, or even yes, auto punctuation. As you have stated here, auto punctuate is, it will add the punctuation marks. All right, when I say punctuation marks, it means comma, full stop, question mark, exclamatory mark, apostrophes. Generally, the two words which are most of the time wrongly written is it apostrophe its, and then its its. All right. So we are going to discuss all these when we are talking about the grammar part. For the time being, when we are discussing about email, let us keep this in your mind that whenever we are writing email, we should try to eliminate as many errors as we can. No spelling mistakes, no grammar mistakes. Even the sentence that you are framing should be simple, and easy to understand. Avoid using shortcuts, avoid using SMS language, avoid using WhatsApp language, avoid using half, like most of the time I have seen, instead of saying thank you very much, the word, the abbreviation or the text that you generally write is TV, thank you. I'm sorry, TYVM. TYVM for thank you very much. Yes. So you generally use this. Why do you use this? Because you understand that whenever you are using WhatsApp or whenever you are using SMS, there is limitation, isn't it here? You have to cut short your message so that a person can receive it in one single SMS. But when we talk about email, emails are read by the people who are working in different position, at different position in different organizations, and they are designated on certain positions. So you should keep always this in your mind, that whenever you are writing any email, even in your college, whenever you are writing any email, it should be in simple languages. Avoid using shortcuts. Please remember, always use the right grammar and the right sentences if you really want to attract the audience. This is very, very important. Very, very important. I want everybody to focus on this particular presentation slide that you can see now. Most of the time, many people, they don't know what is the difference between to and CC. Whenever you are writing an email, you will see these three. Most of the time, BCC is hidden. In general, you can see to and CC. Whenever we see someone as to be marked into, it means I need the response from that person. Please remember, say for example, you want a reply from Neeru. So you should mark my email ID in the to segment. That is, wherever to is mentioned, you have to mark my email address in that. Say for example, you want a response from some other teacher. Let me take an example. You want a response from your faculty coordinators like Mr. Rahul Kumar Sinha or Mr. Shashikant. So if you are looking for a response from Mr. Shashikant Dikshit or from Mr. Rahul Kumar Sinha, you have to mark their email address in TO2. Am I clear with everyone? So if you are marking anybody's email address in that, that means you are directly communicating with that person. The response also will be expected from the same person. If you are writing somebody's email address in CC, that is carbon copy. It means, or courtesy copy. It is also called as courtesy copy or carbon copy. Why do we call it as courtesy copy or carbon copy? Because it says that just for the sake of information, just as to show our respect or to share the information with the superiors or with the concerned member, we have marked their email in CC. For example, your faculty coordinator is Mr. Rahul Kumar Sinha or Shashikant Dikshit sir. Now, when you have marked their email ID in CC, but you are getting a response from Neeru, that is admin@ismpatna.ac.in. Now, you should remember that response will be given by Neeru, but to share the information with your faculty coordinators, to bring the same information into their notice in order to make them understand that yes, you have put them in loop, you have connected them so that the same information is shared even with them, you're going to mark them in CC. That is courtesy copy. Always remember, the one who are marked in CC, they cannot give answers to you. They will be marked only for the sake of information, just for your information. All right. Likewise, say for example, you have your father's email address and I do have even your email address. So if I want to share your mark sheet, I will mark an email to you. But if I'm marking your email along with your father's email in CC, that means I'm not only sharing it with you, but also I'm bringing into the notice of your father. So keep this in your mind that whenever we are marking anyone in CC, it is to bring to their information. 2 is for the person from whom we are expecting the reply, from whom we are expecting the response. CC is courtesy copy or carbon copy, wherein we are marking this information for their understanding, for their reference, so that they will also come to know that yes, this email is marked from so and so person to so and so person. Is this understood by everyone? Could you understand what is to and what is CC, and to whom to mark in to and to whom to mark in CC? If you have understood, write U in the chat box. And if you could not understand, write D in the chat box so that I can explain it, whatever your doubt is, I'll clear it here. So from today onwards, whenever you are writing any email, please keep this in your mind. If you are marking someone in to, that means you are waiting for the response, or you are sharing the information directly to that particular person. But if you are marking somebody in CC here, that means you are just sharing the information. You will never get any kind of response. You should not even expect any response from the person who are marked in CC. All right. So moving ahead to the next one, BCC. How many of you receive my emails? Quickly in the chat box. If you have received my email, in the chat box, if you have received emails from my side. So where do you see your email? What is mentioned beside it? Are you marked in 2? Are you marked in CC? Or are you marked in BCC? Quickly in the chat box. What do you see next to your name, next to your email address that is mentioned? Do you see 2? Do you see TT or CC, or do you find it across BCC? All right. So, Abhijit, thanks for sharing that. Adrit, thank you very much for sharing that. Yes, Arav, thank you. And thank you, Sakib. Yes, most of you must have seen that whenever you are receiving any email from Neeru, it is always marked in BCC. Don't you get a doubt that why is she marking me in BCC? Please understand the importance of BCC, and I want everybody to keep this in mind, because once when you're working in an organization, you should also use BCC. Say, for example, there is one, no dear, it's not no need to reply. No, 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 no. It doesn't mean no need to reply. It is blind courtesy copy. What do we understand by blind courtesy copy, Sakib? Let me explain. Sakib, if I have to send an email to 700,000 people at one time. Now, if I mark people in 2, everybody can get to see or get to know the email address of the other person. Say, for example, if I talk about 22 students who are attending today's class. Right now, if 22 students are attending my class, and if I mark everybody's email address in TO2 segment or even in CC segment, all the people, all 22 can see not only their email ID, but also the email ID of others. What am I doing? Unknowingly, unwillingly, I'm sharing your personal contact with other person. Is this right or wrong to share personal contact or email addresses of other person without their permission to others? Isn't it? It's wrong, isn't it, Sakib? So yes, it is of course wrong thing. So what we have to do, if I have to share same information with many people, the numbers are huge. I have to share one same information to hundreds of students. What I will do, I will mark their email IDs, all their email IDs. If I copy and paste it in BCC, and even if I share it with all, you will see that only your email address will be visible to you. Others will be blinded. That means covered. You cannot see the email address of others. You will see only your email ID. So could you understand the importance of BCC? So I want you all to practice this. If you have 5 email addresses, 10 email addresses, when you are going to share the information, you can see everybody's email address. But when you receive it from somebody else, you will see only your email address. You will not see the email address of others. So keep this in your mind that whenever you are sharing it to a huge group of people, to a large number of people. Say, for example, if you have to mail 100 people the same information. Say, for example, you people are organizing freshers party and you want to invite everyone. You cannot write all the students' email address in two segments. So what are you going to do? You're going to mark it in BCC. Another benefit of marking people in BCC is if you mark anyone in BCC, as other people cannot see it, sometimes it will also help you to share it with other people without bringing in notice to others. Say, for example, let me give you an example to clear how you can use this. Your group, a student of BBA B section, has formed a group with the students of BCA B section. There is a group of 4 people. Say, for example, Saqib, Arav, Dheeraj, and Ismail. They 4 formed a group. So, Saqib, Arav, Dheeraj, and Ismail, they have created a presentation. But the leader of the presentation is Saqib. So, Saqib is sharing this information with his teacher, probably Rahul sir or Neeru ma'am or Shashikant, so with any one of them. So whenever you are sharing this information with the concerned faculty member, so you are going to mark him or her in two. Say, for example, you are sharing it with Neeru, so you will mark admin@isnpatna.ac.in in the two column. But you also want your friends to keep this in their notice that you have shared this information with the teacher on so and so date. So what you're going to do, without bringing in the notice of the teacher, you can mark your friend's email address in BCC. I will not come to know that to whom you have marked in BCC. Only the sender will come to know that he has marked it as BCC to others. So Dheeraj will also come to know about that email. Arav will also come to know about that email. Ismail will also come to know about that email. So BCC is great help whenever you are sharing some information, when you are trying to keep it as a hidden information with others, then again BCC is of great help. BCC stands for blind courtesy copy, also called as blind carbon copy. All right. Why we call it as carbon copy? Because it is exactly the same that is getting shared with the others. All right, with everyone. So if you could understand this now onwards, whenever you are writing any email, whenever you are sharing any email with others, keep this information in your mind, to whom to mark in two column, to whom to mark in CC segment, to whom to mark in BCC segment. Always remember, boys and girls, whenever you are writing any email, the language that you should use should be simple, straightforward, and short. All right, dear. Yes, BCC, if you are marking someone in BCC, the same email will go. The same copy of the email will go, and so therefore you can share it with number of people, the same kind of email, without sharing the personal email address of the others. So talking about the type, the context, then whenever we are talking about the way we are going to write the content, it should be simple. As we have discussed about the formal letter writing, the language that we use should be crisp. Do you remember the word crisp that we have used? Short and simple. So it should be short, simple, and straightforward. You should not try to exaggerate. When I use the word exaggerate, it means unnecessarily stretching, unnecessary adding those information which are not required. Write only that is needed. Write only that is required. Write only those words, write only those sentences, write only that information which is absolutely needed and required. Rest others, avoid. Rest others, eliminate. Rest others, keep it aside. Keep this in your mind. Whenever you are writing any business emails or any business letters, you should always remember these 3 words: short, simple, straightforward. Short, simple, straightforward. Is this clear with everyone? Avoid using unnecessary content. Do not include heavy files. If there are any heavy documents, if you have to share any heavy file, say for example, you want to share a video, you want to share your presentation, You want to share some proposal, you want to share certain reports. These reports can be heavy files. It could be in 1 GB or probably 250 MB or maybe a lengthy file. So what are you going to do? Always remember, instead of adding, you should attach it. You should attach it as an attachment. You all must have seen the symbol of attachment even when you are using WhatsApp, or even if you are using LinkedIn, Facebook, Messenger, anything. Whenever you are sharing information, if it requires any attachment, you can attach it, right? The pin or the hook is there to attach the file. So in the main email, we will not write anything, but if there is any heavy file, we will attach it. The language that we are using, as I said, should be simple, short, straightforward. Heavy files to be attached. The email IDs, most of the time you must have seen when you are a young boy and a girl, you like to have that very interesting email IDs, isn't it? The one you can see here, which is mentioned as an example. We all like to have that different email ID. Sometimes we include our birthday date, birthday years. Sometimes we include our contact numbers. Sometimes we include our names. Sometimes we also include certain pen names. Sometimes we include certain crazy words with us, right? So we should not use such email address whenever we are interacting with the people, particularly official ones. Hence, when the moment you people have joined ISM, we started giving you your official email address, so that whenever you are communicating, people will know to whom they are communicating. Say, for example, if I'm having words with Sakib, I will know that yes, Sakib is interacting with me. If I'm having words with Rishikesh, I will know that yes, I'm interacting with Rishikesh. It should not be something which will not convey your name, or which is not showing your name or personality or your own identity. So keep this in your mind. Inappropriate email IDs should be avoided. Use always a professional email address. The language that you are using should be proper. Also remember, if you are using any of the official email addresses, whenever you are sharing anybody, say for example, if you are sharing your email address, don't hesitate in sharing it with others, because that talks about you and your identity. Do not write anything in capital letters. Most of the time, people, in order to just write the information quickly, what they do is they write everything in capital letters. We should not do that, all right? Always remember, the title that you are using should be correct, it should be clear, and the letter that you are going to write should not be in capital letters. What do we understand by capital letters? If things are written in capital letters, it means you are shouting at others. They are called as shouting letters. So make it case sensitive. You should always remember it should be sentence sensitive, and you should use proper capital letters. If you're talking about name, if you're writing somebody's name, the name should always start with capital letters. Even the beginning of the sentence should be in capital letters. If you are writing a person, say for example, if you are writing sir, ma'am, or if you are giving any kind of symbolic references to others, you should always use the capital letters. And next thing, you should always keep the subject line simple, short. It should be in phrases. It cannot be in complete sentence. You cannot write a big subject line. All right. Always remember, write a simple subject line. The paragraphs that you are going to use should be simple and short. It can be bullet points. Say, for example, if you want to write a lengthy paragraph, don't write lengthy paragraph. Instead of writing lengthy paragraph, all the important points, you can write them in bullet points, or you can make different points. You can write point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. All right. So use pointers, use bullets instead of writing heavy or lengthy paragraphs. Also remember, we have discussed this whenever we are writing letters. In email, we need not write address. I repeat, whenever we write emails, we need not write address. Why we should not write address? Because already your email ID is set as default. You need not write your address. So if whenever you are writing email, email will start immediately from the body, that is from the place where you are going to start the salutation in the letter. Dear sir, dear ma'am. Subject line is again default. You have to write any something or the other in the subject line. All right. So subject line is already set as default. Date you need not write, because again it is set as default. From address you need not write, it is already set as default. To, you have to write it compulsorily, otherwise your email cannot be shared. So keep this in your mind whenever you write the letter, the beginning of the letter which happens or which comes in the subject column. After the subject column, the main pointer where you are going to start the main subject, it should start with a proper introduction, define the purpose in a proper way, explain the things in a proper way, and then conclude it in a proper way. All right. So it's not necessary that it must have 3 to 4 lines, dear. Sometimes it could be even in one single line, isn't it? So yes, it should be in bullet points, because if when I talk about lengthy emails, in the sense when you are writing somewhere around 12 to 15 lines, whenever you are writing 10 to 12 lines, it is again a cumbersome. It creates problems. People may dislike reading heavy files, or even the lengthy emails. So you should always cut it short. How can you cut it short? How can you generate interest? Remember the technique, Ida. Desire to read should be there. And how can you connect that interest and how can you generate that desire? Only when you are making it look simple. How can you make it look simple? By putting it into points. Yes, better. You can mention only the highlight points, and by highlighting the points, how do we highlight when we are writing in the technical way? We include bullet points. You all must have used bullet points when you have prepared PowerPoint presentation, isn't it? So similar bullets are also there which you can use when you are writing email. Is this clear with everyone? So please remember, the structure of the letter will not change. Whenever we are talking about the structure will remain as it is. The structure will be the same, like introduction will be there, the purpose will be there, explanation would be there, and then finally you are So when we talk about the content of the letter, you should always keep in your mind the content matters a lot, and it should have a proper introduction, proper purpose that should be properly defined, then detailed explanation, and coming up with the final conclusion. All right. As I have already stated, no block letters, no capital letters, because it means that you are shouting. Formal emails should not have emojis or slang languages. Rules of the grammar should be properly maintained, and I've already discussed this. Heavy files, if they are there, you should always attach them. You should always send it across as an attachment. So when you are keeping these in your mind, when you are following these in your mind, you will see that people will like to respond to you. You should always remember that if you have received an email, till now we were talking about you sending an email, you are sending an email to others. Now say for example, others have sent an email to you. It is compulsory, or it should be a practice that should be developed by you. If somebody has written an email, if you have received an email, you should answer that particular email in 48 hours. The one which are very urgent, respond to it immediately. The one that are not very urgent, wherein you can delay it for one single day, answer it or reply it in your working hours. But if it is not very urgent, and still you should know that if email is received by you from the other end, they always look for a response. So minimum 48 hours, not more than 48 hours. Within 48 hours, you should respond to those emails. If you are not responding to emails, that shows that you are not at all willing, you don't have interest, you don't want to connect. Sometimes because of your laziness or because of this attitude of delaying or attitude of procrastination, people may think that you are not interested, and so they may even cancel the deal. So keep this in your mind, not only for now. And then how can you develop this habit? By practicing it. Say, for example, if somebody is sending an email to you, you should respond to it immediately. If you don't respond to that email, people will think that you are again showing disrespect. You are not interested. That means you do have disinterest towards that particular program or particular consignment or particular negotiation. So therefore, you should always keep this in your mind. Whenever you are dealing with any information, show interest. How can you show interest? By replying to that particular email. At least send. If you cannot read, if you are very busy, and if you are completely occupied with some other activities, at least share an response email saying that thanks for sending the email, we'll get back to you. And I'm not asking you to do this with your teachers. I'm not at all asking you to do this with the management or with the other higher authorities. This is to be done once when you are working in an organization, when people know that yes, you are occupied, you are preoccupied with different activities, and you don't have time to respond. Then, of course, you need to write at least one single line. I am completely preoccupied, or thank you very much for sharing your email. We'll get back to you in a day or two. All right. Please also remember not to unnecessarily write replies. Say, for example, you have shared an email to Neeru. Neeru has written a reply. Now, you cannot write a reply email to another reply email. Say, for example, thank you very much. If I have written, thanks for sharing this information. Again, you should not write thanks, ma'am. Is this clear with everyone? Reply to the question, reply to what is required, but don't unnecessarily keep sharing. That is called as wastage of time of the readers, and even that is going to clog in the sense unnecessarily there will be so many number of emails in the inbox, and people will think that, oh, probably they are very important, or you don't have anything important to do. That's the reason after receiving the thank you email, you are once again conveying thanks. So don't even reply unnecessarily. Know when to reply, what to reply, how to reply, to whom to reply. I repeat, you should know exactly when to reply, how to reply, what to write in the reply, and to whom to reply, so that you can always create IDA. This is the sample of the email. This is the last slide of our today's class. Here is the sample. What am I going to do is, from my end, you all are going to receive an email. All right. And once when you receive that email, I request you all to, to write a reply mail. I am going to share an email with you all, and there will be certain questions. I want everyone, whosoever have attended today's class, do write an response mail, do write a reply mail to that, all right, so that we can practice writing email, we can get practical exposure of understanding how to write an email. All right, so you can see here, this is something which is called as to. So this email is written to Mr. Kapil Mishra, and this email, if you are looking for response, so for example, if you are waiting for the response will come from Kapil Mishra. Amarnath is only a person who is receiving the information just for the sake of knowing. What is it about? It is about inquiry about the conference center availability. This is the way you're going to write the email. With regards, this is called as complimentary close. Thanks and regards, with regards, then you are sincerely. If you have your contact number, you can share your contact number or designation that on which you are working in the organization, that can be mentioned. So keep this in your mind whenever you are writing the email. So I'll be sharing up to this on the class code of your BB and BCA B section, as well as I'm going to share this as an attachment with your email that I'm going to post it. Please go through it. If you have any doubts, don't hesitate in asking and clearing your doubts, because that is again very important and required. All right. I'm going to share the link for the attendance. I want you all to get your attendance mark on this link. Many of you are not using your official address. So what I did is I have allowed you to use any of your email address. It could be professional or it could be personal one. All right. So, beta, please remember CC is marked whenever we are talking about the people to whom we are sharing the information. Now, there could be 10 people to whom we want to share information. There could be one person, there could be many people. So, in CC, we can mark many people. But remember, even if you're marking many people, those emails, whatever we are writing in to and CC, is visible to everyone. I repeat, if you're marking anyone into NCC, all those people's email address is visible to all right? So keep this in your mind. So you can write, yes, it will be visible, and you cannot hide it. If you want to hide people's information or sharing something which is very confidential and you don't want to disclose the email ID, where are you going to write? Quickly in the chat box. How are you going to mark their email address when you don't want to disclose the email address of the other person? Of course, yes, Atul Kumar Pandey, yes, Sakib, you're going to mention their email address in BCC. All right, dear. Thank you very much. Don't forget to mark your attendance. God bless you all. We are going to have another class on Thursday. All right. So till then, take care of yourself and have a great day. And I want you all to please respond to my email so that I'll check whether you have learned or you could understand the concept that we have discussed under the segment letter writing and email writing. Bye, beta. Take care of yourself.